Down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on the mountain top, I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Sounds of laughter everywhere and the dancing girls swaying to and fro. I must declare my heart is there, though I've been from Maine to Mexico. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Down at the market you can hear ladies cry out while on their heads they bear. Ackee rice, salt fish are nice and the rum is fine any time of year. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on the mountain top, I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica I made a stop. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town.
Dad, Albert Fittler, fought in South Africa during the Boer War, and he had his foot blown off at the Battle of Nieuwit-Get-Dakt. By the time he was repatriated back to England, he hated all black people with a vengeance, a deep hatred that he then passed on to his only child. In 1933, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany, and within a few months, Hitler's Nazi government had assumed dictatorial powers. Once in power, the Nazi Party started to take control of every aspect of German life, and all other political parties were banned. My dad was 16 years old in 1933, and his dad had passed away the year before. So my dad was now officially the head racist of the family. He idolised Hitler and worshipped the man and all that he stood for. Dad would read everything that he could find on Hitler and his Nazi party. He saw Hitler as the saviour of the free world, with his views and anti-Semitism and his intellectualised racial doctrine. The more he read, the more he knew that here was the Messiah that was going to save the world from all of these blacks, Arabs, Asians and Jews. Adolf Hitler believed in the superiority of the Aryan race, and he was prepared to do something about it. On leaving school, my dad started work on the Middlesbrough docks, and not long after he started, he befriended a German seaman named Heinrich, who held similar views and beliefs on the inferior races. Heinrich was an engineer whose cargo ship used to dock regularly at Middlesbrough docks, taking the steel from Middlesbrough steelworks back to the port of Hamburg, where it would then be sent to armament factories to build aeroplanes and warships that would be later used to attack our country during World War II. My dad spent hours talking with Heinrich whenever his ship was in port to learn everything that he could about Hitler and Nazi Germany. One time, not long before the outbreak of World War II, Heinrich's ship came into port, and Heinrich gave Dad a copy of Hitler's autobiography, political manifest, Mein Kampf. And although it was written in German, Dad bought a German translation dictionary from W.H. Smith's and painstakingly translated the book to English so that he could better understand the man. When World War II broke out in September of 1939, there was no way that my dad was going to go and fight against the Nazis. If anything, if he was able to, he would have sailed across the Channel and joined the German army, as he considered himself a de facto German. And to the amusement of his workmates, he even spoke with a put-on Germanic lilt for a little while. Luckily for him, he worked as a stevedore on the docks, which was a reserved occupation, so he wasn't conscripted into the armed forces, and he saw out the war from the comfort of my grandma's living room. When he was 18 years old, my dad joined the British Union of Fascists, the BUF, political party formed in 1932 by Oswald Mosley, more commonly known as the Black Shirts. They had quite a following in their early years, but as the country grew closer to the war and the BUF got more radical in their views and actions, the British public seeing in the newspapers and on the newsreels, in the cinemas, what the German fascists were doing to their own country and to their European neighbouring countries, the membership in the BUF started to go into decline, and in 1939 the party was banned by the British government. Because Middlesbrough was a large steel-producing town, it was the first major British town to be bombed by the German Luftwaffe when they bombed the South Bank area of town in May of 1940. This did little to endear the Nazis to the people of Middlesbrough, so my dad, not wanting to bring attention to himself, hung up his black shirt and quit the BUF, and for the remainder of World War II he kept his fascist views to himself and he tried to keep a low profile. 5 years later, when the war finally ended and Adolf Hitler committed suicide, my dad sadly had to come to the terms with the fact that Germany had lost the war and that the Germanic Aryan race was not going to come to Middlesbrough or take over the world anytime soon. It was around this time that Britain welcomed tens of thousands of immigrants from Commonwealth or ex-Commonwealth countries such as India, Pakistan, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, and some of the islands of the Commonwealth countries of the Caribbean under the British Nationality Act of 1948, when they granted the subjects of the British Empire the right to live and work in the UK. They were brought to the UK to help fill the gap in the labour market after the war for both skilled and unskilled jobs, including public service such as the newly created National Health Service. Many of the new immigrants got jobs on buses, in hospitals, in factories, on building sites, rebuilding the towns that the Luftwaffe had bombed throughout the war. This infuriated my dad, as he saw Indian, Pakistani, African and Caribbean immigrants arriving in the town to take up jobs that should have been for British people. Well, not for British people, for English people, because my dad hated the Welsh and Scottish nearly as much as he hated the blacks. If that wasn't bad enough for him, in 1951, 5 years after his beloved Führer died, what would turn out to be the second biggest disappointment of his life, when me, his only son, later to be named Adolf, was born in Middlesbrough General Hospital.